Bust it.
Hello and thanks for joining us. It's Political Platform. My name is Amici and we're beautiful Monday morning. The president will not tell us yet if he would indeed run for the presidency in 2019. So says his special advisor on media, Femi Adesina. He says if the president declares now, his opponents would sabotage the country economically, socially, to pull him down before the due date, against the backdrop of pressures from some Nigerians, asking him not to even contemplate presenting himself as either an aspirant or candidate. Former President Obasanjo at delay. But beyond this, we'll be taking a look at how politicians indeed prepare themselves for elective office, how they make the big announcements. Some of them funny, some will tell you it's a divine mandate, or in some instances you see different aspirants targeting same office or claiming to be God sent, and you imagine what message are they getting from the Almighty. Different messages to different people, but some will stage solidarity visits, endorsements here and there, instigating people to carry placards and protest. Remember the 2 million man march during the Abacha era? All that is all part of democracy, some will say. So we'll wait for the time the president will take the decision, but from his body language and from history, it is most likely that the president would be contesting under the platform of the APC. And the Oba of Benin has invoked a curse on anybody or group that supports human trafficking. And one of the chiefs in the Oba's palace said the charm that the Oba used to do that was a 800 years old charm that has not seen sunlight for the past 800 years. Anybody that engages or encourages human trafficking in a state, a state where human trafficking is predominant, then the gods will run after the person. We have a writer commenting on it, hoping it will be taken further beyond human trafficking, but it is part of our system. Yes, we have a democracy, we have the two religions, but some people still tell you that African traditional religion is superior in some aspects, and one we must not indeed petition completely. And the Mieti Allah Cattle Breeders Association will be having the Secretary General on this program, talking about Uthman Gelzama, who will be reacting to calls by some notable Nigerians and groups, Wole Soyinka, asking the federal government to declare Herdsmen as terrorists, and SERAP, a very well-respected organizations, the socio-economic rights and accountability projects has also lent his voice to calls on the president to declare cattle herdsmen, cattle breeders and herdsmen as terrorists, or as terrorists across the country, flowing from the killings going on across the country. We'll be having the Secretary General for his reaction and for solutions on these killings, which appears unabated. My colleagues are here. Uju Eje, as usual, is with me in the studio.
Hello, everyone.
Ijoma Samuel is also with us in the studio.
Thank you, Amici. Amici, the Beninese respect their monarch a lot, and if the Oba of Benin has gone to evoke a particular god or a particular deity to stop human trafficking in Edo State, I think it's good. Because if you look at what has been happening, the return from Libya, the slave trade and all that, even the interviews we went to conduct in Benin City, most of them confirmed that it all started there. Majority...
And they are forced to take oaths.
Yes, before they...
Based on traditional African system.
So for the fear that they have for that deity, this human trafficking problem will reduce, especially coming from Edo State. But my fear is those people that were returned from Libya, what is the government doing about them? Because I spoke to some of them and they told us that if they don't take care of them, it will be disastrous for the state. I think Edo State government and the federal government should try as much as possible to engage this youth so that we don't have problem in the future. So
many activities are ongoing. The National Assembly recently, in conjunction with some international organizations, organized a conference held in Benin not too long ago, all aimed at tackling this problem. But Adebayo Bodri is also in the studio with us.
Amechi, if you know the people, particularly Benin people, they have very, very deep respect for the traditional institution. I recall some 25, 26 years ago, a very foremost journalist, the then Oba of Benin, caused him. We have to raise a team of journalists from Lagos, about 15 of us, to go and beg him
and placate
to remove the cause. It was not a joking matter. The guy said he relocated, he transferred himself from Benin to Lagos, and he said he preferred to lose his job than to go back. And luckily for us, it was discovered that the Oba was misinformed then, and he apologized to us, and he lifted the cup. So if this, do I call it juju or do I call it power, whatever power it is, we help to reduce the level of human trafficking.
The gods of our forefathers.
Yeah, the gods of our forefathers. If we help to, reduce human trafficking particularly in Edo State, I think it will be in the interest of the society. Over the weekend, the Senate President came out. He said he is on the same page with the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Yakubu Dogara, on the issue of overriding the President on some bills. The initial newspapers were some media reports, had earlier indicated that
two of them disagree.
Yeah, they disagree. But
they issued a joint statement
and came out and said they are on the same page. So we should watch out for the level of politicking that will probably take place on the floor of both the House and the Senate.
And more importantly, the court case on Tuesday, a federal high court where the substantive issue will be up for deliberations. If you recall, the court restrained the National Assembly temporarily up to Tuesday not to take any action.
And some top lawyers in the country are already saying that that thing is an aberration. The order is an aberration.
Of course, that's in line with the law of separation of powers. Because again, one of the arguments is that you do not rule on a law that is non-existent, because they had not concluded the Electoral Act, and why would you rule on something that is not yet a law? I think those are the arguments, but believe me, I have said it and I'm maintaining that the lawmakers, from the day they amended that aspect of the Electoral Act, they were very, very categorical that if the president did not assent to it, they would override his veto, and they are set to do it.
Amechi, my fear is that if you look at the amendment to the Electoral Act, there are some very, very beautiful points there. There are some very, very good sections that were amended. If because of just one section 25 and we're having issues and the president decides not to sign into law this bill, then that means we have problem. I think the National Assembly should consider the benefits that other sections that were amended will be to the Nigerian elections. That's my point.
Well, going back to the issue of the curse the Oba of Benin placed on those that will facilitate human trafficking, I recall the action of Professor Wande Abimbola, former special advisor to former President of Obasanjo on culture, when he was being sworn in at the Aso Rock Presidential Villa, Abuja. You know, if you are to take oath of office, you're either given the option of going with a Quran or a Bible. But he rejected the two and said he would rather go with his staff of office as an Ifa priest. That as far as it's concerned, African traditional religion is his religion and he wants to practice it to the fullest. He ended up taking the oath of office with that, and there was a huge argument. Some say that if you present an average Nigerian with three objects for oath taking, the Bible, the Quran, and a deity, that the one they will respect most is the, don't call it.
Because God is a merciful God. God does not dispense judgment like that.
The deity does not look back when he's carrying out punitive action on anybody that violates either a code or a rule of a society. So you rightly mentioned, Ijoma, that those that are trafficked are first forced to swear to an oath.
Yes.
The oath is that they must abide by the letters and spirit of the agreement they have with their sponsors. And it is the fear of those oaths that keep them down and prevent them from revolting when they so. Yeah. So it tells you that people believe this oath. So if the Oba will bring out a charm that's not exposed to sunlight for about 800 years, you can imagine the impact it will make.
Well, you know, Professor Abimbola was not the first to refuse to swear by the Bible or the Quran. You also recall Fela did so when he was appearing before a tribunal of inquiry. He came with a cutlass and he said that cutlass symbolizes Ogun, and he swore with the cutlass. That's way back in the Second Republic when we were then searching for missing 2.8 billion. If you all recall, which eventually ended up using it as a theme song for one of his popular music.
Amechi, God deals with the conscience, with the hearts of men. That's why he's a merciful God. It is better when the laws are written on the hearts of men and not out of fear. When men will get up and say, look, I don't want to do this thing because it's bad, not because they're afraid something will happen. I think that's a higher realm.
Yeah, it's higher. He forgives because he understands human. But unfortunately for us, the deities don't forgive. It's even worse for female goddess. No mercy. They don't show mercy. The female goddess. If you violate
also judges, but he gives a long rope.
Yeah, it's okay. We'll pause a bit. Take your mails, but not without remembering Senator Aleu Wakili, Bauchi South senatorial constituency, who died very suddenly, tragically, last weekend. Our hearts goes to the family and colleagues in the National Assembly. He was known to be very vibrant and no history of, publicly at least, illness. He was part of some wedding, Dangote's daughter's wedding in Kanuli, preparing to go for the wedding of the Vice President's daughter in Abuja when he suddenly slumped and died in his Abuja home. Anyway, we have lost another red gem. We'll take a break and then your mails.
It's the mail segment, and I'm Amaka Okoro.
I'm Usaiti Yarewaka.
We begin with a mail from Oshun Kalum Vincent from Surulere in Lagos State, and he writes on the curses placed on human traffickers by the monarch of Benin. The mail reads, the steps taken by the monarch of Benin on the need to place curses on human traffickers in Edo State is well appreciated and should be emulated by other prominent monarchs. However, I would have been more pleased if the monarch had gone a step further to rain similar curses on treasury looters and persons, whether political or civil servants, who deliberately squander public funds and impose hardship on the people. Let the politicians confess their sins, like some chiefs did, and pledge to put the interest of the people ahead of personal interest. Oba Atokwe.
He said, writing on farmers' headman clashes, OK One for Abuja says, if a headsman has a gun, someone amongst us gave him the gun, and that someone is not poor, struggling, or a hand-to-mouth Nigerian. That someone is in our midst, and that is who the government and security agencies should concentrate on finding and neutralizing. That someone radicalized, facilitated, or sponsored the radicalization of the otherwise innocent header, gave him a gun and a mission. Growing up in the 80s and early 90s, I had personally played and fraternized with Fulani kids in the bushes when we went to farm and spent days or weeks sleeping in improvised farmhouses and exposed to the risk of attacks by dangerous wild predators, as the Fulani herders were also exposed. While we were equipped with baskets, hoes, machetes, and mattocks, they were equipped with long dried sticks and probably small knives. Their parents happily exchanged gifts with our parents, and sometimes they joined us to sit around the fire for moonlight tales. Now the herder has a gun, a very dangerous gun, and he kills people. Who gave the Fulani herder a gun?
And still on herdsmen activities in Nigeria, Omeni Davidson from Lagos State says, dear political platform crew, it is surprising and shameful that the federal government cannot take bold and drastic steps in curbing the Fulani herdsmen crisis that have inflicted pains and sorrows on the lives of innocent Nigerians. And to make matters worse, each time this crisis occurs, the umbrella body Métis Allah will never condemn its members. Rather, it will seek to protect its members and also making statements that sounds provocative, while the federal government just folds its hands and watches. The federal government should, as a matter of urgency, take drastic steps in bringing in a lasting solution and also calling the Ait Allah to order. God save us.
Away from that, Ait in Lagos says the recent decision of Senator Mamora rejecting the appointment by President Buhari as the chairman of Abuja Investment and Infrastructure Center, describing the office as undeserving and equivalent to a state parastatal, is another demonstration of greed, self-centered attitude, and distorted orientation of most of our politicians. Mr. Mamora rejected the appointment because the office allegedly was not as juicy as he wanted, which is a pointer to the fact that he has no interest of the nation at heart, but is only looking for an opportunity for personal aggrandizement, which characterizes most of our public office holders. Until we as a people, and especially our public office holders, jettison the winner-takes-it-all attitude and commit to doing something positive for Nigeria, irrespective of your position, instead of what Nigeria will do for you, I am afraid we will remain in the woods for a very long time and will continue to cry and lament.
And Benga in Lagos State titles this one as Jokers as Aspirants. The mail reads, "It's laughable that anyone that has attained a following of over 100,000 in the social media thinks he is popular enough to run for and win a presidential election in this country. Most of the people who have declared their intention to run for the post of the president come 2019 are just jokers. None of them have any political clout, structure or base whatsoever to even win a local government election. Winning elections isn't by making noise in the social media or by motivational speaking. Emmanuel Macron was a deputy general secretary and a minister of France, and a minister in France before he became the president. The Prime Minister of Canada, Justin Trudeau, was the leader of a Liberal Party before he won the election in 2015. Here in Nigeria, people sleep, wake up and decide to aspire for the office of the president of this country. May God save Nigeria."
That's it on the mail segment today. Continue to write to us through political platform at yahoo.com.
Thank you so much for remaining with us. Let's welcome the Secretary General of the Ait Allah Cattle Breeders Association of Nigeria, Uthman Zama. Thank you so much for joining us. Yes, there's been some calls and pressures on the president to declare herdsmen as terrorists following the spate of killings across the country. How do you react to these calls?
I saw this comment made by a respected personality in the country, the professor. You know, for one, I respect the professor for being the professor. And secondly, I see him, I respect him as a leader in the country. And thirdly, I hold him in high esteem because he's a fight to this nation because of the various honors he brought to the country. But I think what he failed to do, or what I would suggest to him, is to bring his life of knowledge to the area of the herdsman issue and try to understand who is the real herdsman from the herdsman perspective. Let him try to identify and discuss with some elites. I'm sure he knows a lot of elites from the Fulani hegemony. Let him identify and begin to discuss with him for him to articulate who is the real herdsman in the country. If you say you want to prescribe herdsman, who do you want to prescribe? Yes, very addictive. Those men who have sponsored their children to become doctors, professors, and in this country, and who are still living in the forest and are practicing nomadism, are they those ones that you want to prescribe as terrorists, or are they those ones who have lost 700? Is it the families of those who have lost 724 in Mandela, this genocide that took place last 6 months? Are those ones that you want to prescribe as terrorists? Or are they ones that have today lost over 2 million cows as a result of catching them from criminals? Are they those ones that you also want to prescribe?
I think I know the point.
From the hands of kidnappers in this country today.
I know the point you're trying to make. Yes, some herdsmen may be violent, but not all of them are violent. But the issue is how do...
If it is the case, then try to isolate
Maybe because of the inability of the security agencies to be up to their responsibility, it may have prompted some of this call for a whole proscription of the herdsmen. Because as you agree with me, the security agencies have not been up and doing in arresting the criminal elements among the herdsmen, the few ones that are criminally minded. I said the inability of the security agencies to quickly isolate, like you suggested, the herdsmen that are violent and criminally minded may have prompted calls for a whole-scale proscription of herdsmen as terrorists.
And the association I represent has been registered for over 32 years now. Respected prominent traditional rulers, as chairman and president of the this is that I represent the
I think we're having problems.
Security tries to isolate the criminal herdsmen from law-abiding herdsmen because law-abiding and their majority, they suffer the aggressive end of this crisis, but yet the media is so much on us that today some people somewhere wanted to profile this group as terrorists. How can we be profiled terrorists? Why we address legal of all things? Why we address legal of security and address legal of who I don't think something that will happen? Before one person is to that in the future, take of them as not
but let us address the issue as currently that is worrisome to all Nigerians. How do we end the spate of killings across the country?
How do we end? You mean the violence?
No, the violence and the killings. How do we end it? What is your candid advice on how to end it?
This is something that started as a resource-based crisis. It's still a resource-based crisis. But because it has been left for a long time to linger, so many things have come into play. Today, politicians are making their sometimes even religion is borrowed into it, sometimes ethnicity is borrowed into it. So look at how it was left. And so many things are coming into play now. So the only suggestion solution is for to apply a sort of this problem.
What do you think about the Kano State's governor's call for all headers to relocate to Kano State? Is that not a solution to some of these problems? The Kano State governor's call for headers to relocate to the state, is it not a step to solution for the problem?
No, she said that recently the Kano State government asked herdsmen to relocate to the state, that they have enough land to cater for them, and she's asking whether is it not a solution worth exploring?
For a Kano State to ask them to relocate, let the entire northern state governors do something about it. Let them begin to develop this grazing area. Let them try to make this grazing area attractive to the pastoralists. If you make them attractive, after all, what do they need? Is it not water and grass? Provide water and reserves. Don't even call them, they will come.
So some of the utterances of the Mietiala leaders, such as the situation in Benue, where the Mietiala has openly and publicly rejected the anti-grazing law enacted legally by the State House of Assembly. So many people believe that by rejection of that law, the Mietiala is calling for anarchy and a refusal to adhere to a properly promulgated law in the country.
But we are all working for the pastoralists. You see, there is a problem with the Benue state law. It's very clear, but we don't want to, we have ended this blame game and now looking for them. Take for example, go to entity. See how the governor of entity has presented his own law. He banned against night grazing. He confined this pastoralists to the game reserve. He has even promised that any offender will be punished, will go to jail and return the damage done, whether he's a farmer or a public.
Look at the woman says, the state governor has given his law. We have no problem with the law.
But if you have anything against the law in Benue, the rational thing to do is it not to go and challenge it in court rather than publicly condemning that law? And
in addition, you were also part of the law in Benue because you were consulted, you made your input.
Didn't you hear that the Taraba state government has suspended to those who want to the village? Because the law is supposed to do peace and harmony. Whenever the law is promulgated, it's supposed to do peace and harmony. It's not the law. It's not the law.
Okay, I think we have to thank you so much. We are losing the polity in that call. The Secretary General of the Mieti Alakatu Breeders Association of Nigeria, Uthman Ngeozama, thank you so much for responding to us on a short notice. He has indeed offered his perspective on this very controversial issue. And the much we can take on today's edition of Political Platform. I don't know how good that quality was. I don't know how our listeners were able to extract some of the information he was trying to give out there. But when we come back tomorrow, more reports, more analysis. On behalf of my colleagues, my name is Ait. We have a good week ahead.